Right, good morning, year sevens. This is our first lesson of a new unit, but before we move on to it, I wanted to say how impressed I was with how well you've done on that angles worksheet. I genuinely thought it was tough as nails, that last one. That's why I didn't give you a video or anything. I wanted you to spend the whole time working on that sheet. And when I got them all in, and you guys had either got perfect or nearly perfect, or at least a good portion of them right, I was just really impressed. So, yeah, very good work. I was happy with that. So nice one, year sevens. Cool. Well, we're starting off with a brand new unit today. It's percentages. And yeah, they're really useful actually. And I bet you know a thing or two of them, a thing or two about them from primary school. So let's just recap. Percentages, are always out of what number? Well, if you said 100, you're dead right. Well, actually, I've even got that on my slide here. Percentages actually means by the hundred in Latin. Now, you might be thinking, that's a bit weird. Why would we want something out of 100? Like, why did we come up with the number 100 to put percentages out of? It's just a really useful number in that if we make everything out of 100, it's easy to compare two figures. So, for instance, if I said to you a couple of fractions, if I said, what's bigger, 4/7 or 7/15 or 9/17 or something like, I don't know, 102 out of, say, 200, well, which of those is the biggest number? All those numbers I just said are a little bit bigger than half, but we don't really know which one is the biggest. And that's how come we've got to use these things called percentages. Because if we make all of the numbers, instead of having strange denominators, if we make all the denominators 100, they're super easy to compare to one another. And that's what percentages are for. They're used all the time in real life. You'll never ever escape percentages. They're one of the most used kind of mathematical content that you're going to see. So to start off with, nice easy ones to begin with. Right here we've got, in each question, write the percentage shaded, the fraction shaded, but you got to simplify, and the decimal amount shaded. So have a little look, badoom, and here we go. What do we reckon? Well, first thing to note is when you have a little gander at this thing here, you can see it's a 10 by 10 grid. Here, I'll count it out for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And there's 10 by 10, which means you got a 10 by 10 grid. So it's already out of 100, which means to do a percentage, we're going to be dead easy here. There's 10, 20, 30 of them shaded in. 30%. Boom, like an absolute legend. The fraction, also not too bad. You just said there's 30 green squares. Well, it's 30 out of 100, isn't it? Now, that's got to be simplified though. Divide the top and bottom by 10, 3/10. Like an absolute boss. And the decimal amount shaded. Now, you guys, I bet know how to do this, but I'm going to explain it just one more time anyway. From year 7 this year, you know that 3/10 is 0.3. So that is the answer. That's from this year. You got that because the number at the bottom already had only ones and zeros in, and it's 3 out of 10, which means you move the decimal point one time to in front of the 3, giving you 0.3. Ready for my super spoiler though. This is going to change your life, buddies. See this here, the 30%. There it is. With our lovely 30%, to turn a percent into a decimal, super spoiler alert, all you need to do is divide the 30 by 100. If you divide 30 by 100, decimal moves 2 times, once to between the two numbers and another to the front, 0.3 like a boss. Okay, now that we're flying on that, let's have a little look at this one here. 10, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 25% straight away. 25 out of the 100 squares colored in. 25 out of 100 therefore is the fraction, which means you guys probably know already a quarter. If you didn't spot it, we've divided the top and bottom by 25. 4 25s into 100. Now, let's use our super sick, amazing shortcut here because I don't really want to do any division or anything. I'm just going to do a big shortcut. Here's the deal. We're just going to divide this bad boy by 100 because percents are out of 100. If you want to turn them back into a decimal, divide them by 100 for 0.25, final answer. Okay, now I'll bet your ace at this, so I'm going to give you just a sec, pause it as soon as I do it, as soon as I reveal this, push pause, have a quick try, and here we go. 3, 2, 1, go! Oh, everyone's favorite country. Look at that lovely flag. Oh, anyway, sorry, carry on. Okay, so hopefully you've paused that. You've got your answers straight away. Let's have a look. 10, 20, and then you've got 4, 8, 12, 16. So that's 20, that's 36, and another 4 makes 40. So we've got here 40 out of 100 as the fraction, oops, which is 40%, which goes first, which is 0.4. Absolutely legendary. The Canada flag might be a bit trickier to calculate, potentially. We got 20 there, we got 20 there. We've got in the middle, how many have we got? 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15, I hope. Do you guys agree? Hopefully I have it right. You guys will, I'm sure, tell me if I don't have it right. But 20, 40, 55 is what I've got. So the Canada flag is 55% filled in, which means 55 out of 100. Ooh, it's a good one to simplify. This ends in 5, this ends in 0. That means they both divide by 5. 11 5s into 55, and 25s go into 100. So 11 out of 20. And our last shortcut here, divide the 55% by 100, giving you 0.55. Cool. So hopefully that's good. Hopefully you're flying, and so on. Now here we go. Just a quick look at this guy down here. Whoop. And this is just it backwards. You'll sometimes have to do this on a test potentially, but this is just doing it backwards, filling it in. So have a little second here. Just think about how much should be filled in. So push pause maybe. Just have a think. Don't write anything down. Just have a think. And here we go. Hopefully you got something like this. So, boom. Check it out. There it is. 50%, 35%, 63%, 96%. Easy peasy, because they are out of 100 the grids anyway. Since there's 100 squares in the grid, you're able to just color in the correct number. So I hope that that's okay. And please don't deduct marks from me for being so terrible at coloring in. Yeah, I think I could have done a better job coloring, but I didn't. Sorry about that, lovelies. Okay, on to some maths. Percent to decimal. You guys are gonna love this. It's not too bad. You're gonna be flying right on through it. And remember that trick I just said. Percentages are out of 100, okay? Which means this is actually 35 out of 100 if you're gonna do a middle step. If it's 35%, it's 35 out of 100. Now, you know already from fractions earlier in the year that if something is out of something, it's actually the same as divide. So for instance, 35 over 100 is actually the same as 35 divided by 100, which then you know you can use the decimal trick on. 2 zeros, move the decimal 2 times. Once, twice to there, 0.35 is your answer. Now, I'm going to give you a big tip here. Just cut to the chase. Just divide them by 100. Just move the decimals twice over instantly. Divide by 100. 1, 2, 0.42. This guy here, I bet you some of you are ahead of me now. Did you get this? 2.35. Weird. A percentage bigger than 100. Now, that's absolutely possible. If you were running a company, for instance, maybe you would make 125% more money than you made last year. That would show that your company was growing, and you can get lots of stuff like that where you get percentages bigger than 100. That's totally okay. Some people think 100's the max, but actually you can get bigger than 100 as a percent. Okay, this one here, a bit of a trick question, 76.3. Well, it's not really a trick though. Check it. 1, 2, 0.763. Like a ledge. Same deal here. 0.832. And look at us flying here. 1, 2, 4.778. Percentage to decimal. You guys should be absolutely brilliant at. Now here's the thing. I reckon if I did this in class with you guys, I would make this a big time challenge. That's how come I've got 9 spaces. So we could do it from home, I think, still. So make 9 little gaps. So go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then you can pause me in a minute. When I say go, you can pause me. And I want you just to try to get every single answer. And I want you to do it in less than a minute, because I think you'd be really quick. So the time challenge would be really good. So when I say go, fill in your 9 spaces, and then I'll reveal them and see if you can do it in a minute. Okay? So 3, 2, 1, make your 9 spaces and go! Okay, buddy, so hopefully your minutes have passed. And here's the thing, 0.25. Hopefully you got 0.24, 0.72. See how nice and easy peasy this is, 0.62. Moving the decimal 2 times, 0.98, 0.45. This one here, oh, it's a trick one. I like this one. Give yourself like a big bonus pat on the back if you got 0.03, a socially distant pat on the back if you got that. You had to move it 2 times, once to get it in front of the 3, but then a placeholder 0 that often gets forgotten. So 0.03, 0.125, and 0.375. Legendarily good. So hopefully you're feeling very, very confident with that, because we're going to move on now to the reverse. Easy peasy again, guys. If you turned a percent to a decimal by dividing by 100, what do you think you're going to do to turn a decimal into a percent? Well, if it's the opposite thing, you'd expect the opposite operation, and that's dead right. So instead of moving the decimal 2 times to the left, making it smaller, if we want to make it a percentage, you're going to go 1, 2 times to the right, and this is just going to be 45%. Cool, cool, cool. This one here, 2 times to the right, 63%. This one here, I'm going to have a decimal in. That's okay, though. 44.5%. Now this one here as well. Oh, it's a good one, this one. 1, 2. So this is going to be 498%. Now, that's weird, and that's a really big number, way bigger than 100. But say, for instance, that you, I don't know, ran a company, and then the one year you made 498% more than the previous year, you'd be well happy with that. My golly, your company has got, well, yeah, like mega massively bigger. It's awesome. It's like 5 times bigger. Brilliant. So that's really, really cool. Cool. Anyway, let's see if you can do this. Reverse, 9 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Same deal as the last one. I want to see if you can do it in less than 30 seconds, because I'm convinced, lovelies, that I'm even going too slow right now. So get your 9 spaces. 3, 2, 1, go! Get them all done. And your minute has passed. See if you got these right. 69%, 12%, 5%. Oh, that's a good one. 5%, because you got to move it 2 times. So 1, 2, not 50. It's 5%. 39%. That's cool as well. 48.5%. Don't let the decimal fool you. And then this guy here. Oh, I like this one. Once, twice. Puts it between the 2 and the 7. 2.7% then. This guy here, 164. 164%. You're just moving the decimal 2 spots to the right. 351. Oops, 1%. And the last one is 205%. So super good there, super sevens. Now, final thing I've got for you. This is the hardest part of the lesson, but again, I do think, especially seeing how well you've done with the angles, I think that you guys are going to be flying on this. So I'm going to go on it quick as well. Now, decimal numbers to fractions. Here's what you do to convert decimals to fractions. Essentially, this here, can you see the 6 here? It's 1 space after the decimal. That means this. It means you're going to go 6 out of 10. Because there was 1 gap after the decimal, we're going to have 1 0 there. Now, for those of you who are wondering why, which I imagine a lot of you might be, the reason is this column, if you think about like when you were in primary school, how there's the units and the tens and the hundreds and the thousands and the 10,000s, as numbers get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, what you're going to find when you go the other way, you've actually got the tenths with a th, like these are the tenths, which means if the 6 is in the tenths column, it is 6 tenths, which is brilliant, and that's kind of why that is. If you went smaller still, it'd be hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths. So yeah, you can make all that spluttering sound just the same as me. Cool. Now the thing is, that's not simplified, is it? So divide the top and bottom both by 2, 3/5. Got it. Cool. 1.32. Now I'm going to be a bit lazy, I'm not going to lie. See how there's a 1 here? Instantly, it's bigger than 1, that means. That means the number's it's got a whole part in it. So I'm just going to take the 1 and I'm going to chill it out like that. And that just leaves these guys here, the 3 and the 2. Now there's 1, 2 numbers after the decimal place, which means this one's going to be out of 100. And you copy the 32 up there. 1, 2. See how that works? If there's 2 numbers after the decimal, there'll be 2 zeros in the bottom. Those of you wondering why, this is the same as 32. And see how the 2's in the hundredths column? So it's 32 hundredths. Now, needs a bit of tidying up still. It's not quite done yet. So here's what we've got. 1 and I can see, what number can I see that goes into both of those? 4 goes in. I think. Is that the best we can do? So 8, that would be. How many 4s go into 32? Well, that'll be 8. And 4s into 125. Oh, good. So that was the best that we can do. Perfect. I got that one in one try. Super. Cool. Right. Well, here's 2 for you to try. It might be a bit trickier, but have a little quick go. Boom. Cool. And there's your minute past, guys. Let's see how we've done. 65 out of 100. Very cool. Needs some simplifying. I can certainly see that 5 would go in. That's 15 more than 50. 5 goes into 50 10 times. 5 goes into 15 3 times. And so this must be 13. And then 5 goes into 100. I know 20 times. So 13/20ths is what we've got there. I'm going to use my lazy mixed number approach on this guy as well, because no sense making it harder than it is. Check out our little 12 here. I'm just going to chill him out front. Let's do it. 12. Now, that's that sorted. These guys here is going to be 455, but there's 1, 2, 3 numbers after the decimal, which means we need 1, 2, 3 zeros. So it's 455 out of 1,000. Oh no, we've got a debacle of simplification going in here. How many 5s go into 450? 5 or 455? Ooh, tough as nails. We can either divide, which maybe I will actually do to show you that this is still a useful skill, or you can do 5s into 450 and then add 1 more. But let's just do the division way so we can practice. 5s into 4, oh, it doesn't go at all, but that leaves 4 chilling. 5s into 45, then it goes 9 times with none left. 5s into 5 once, so it's going to be 91 out of, and then this is going to be 5s into 1,000. Well, that's a bit hard, but we can do 5s into 10, which is 2, and then whack 2 zeros on. It's 91 out of 200. Now, that's probably as low as it can go, and it is as low as it can go. So brilliant work. Happy days? Cool. Short lesson, I think, today. I'm just going to get you guys to practice, because I think you're going to be really good at it. Here's the sheet. This here should be nice and easy. Just print it out, fill in the gaps in it. I'll give you a bit of a tip here. This 0.3 recurring one, oh no, I can't use my pen. Oh, I guess I'm not giving you a tip. Oh no, oh no, oh no, that's okay. Right, well, I guess I'm not using you a tip. My pen isn't working. Oh, okay. That's no worries. Okay, so here's what we're going to do then. I'll give you a tip verbally. Verbal tip, here you go. See how it's 0.33 recurring? That means it's an infinite number of 3's. Well, here's the thing. If you have 0.3 recurring, you're just going to have to kind of spot what fraction that is. And I bet you know that it's a third, and that's what goes there. You need that recurring bit to be a third. Now, when you go, that recurring bit tells you it's a third. Now, when you go here into the percentage one, you need to times it by 100. So it would become, well, it's an infinite number of 3's, right? So it'll be 0.3333 forever. So if you times it by 100, it'll be 33.3333 forever. So it should be 33.3 recurring, kind of like that 66.61. It'll have a little dot on the 3, so it'll be 33.3 recurring. This one here is a puzzle on the right-hand side, and all you got to do is turn these guys all into a fraction. They go top-heavy on there, so that's a bit funny. I wish I could write on it to show you. I'm gutted. Okay, here, I will show. Hang on, I will show you. Okay, let's do this one. See you, 150%. I'm going to go back to the slide so I know I can write on that. Say you got 155%, okay, and you want to turn that into a fraction, or 150%, I should say. Now, you guys would probably want it as a mixed number, which is cool, but to get the answer to work in the worksheet, here's how you do it. That's 150 out of 100, because percents are always out of 100. And then 50 goes into both of those numbers, because you can count on in 50s and hit both of those. So it goes into that 3 times, and that into it 2 times. So actually 3 over 2 is what we want in this worksheet, just because I've kind of done the worksheet ahead and I see that there is a 3 out of 2 in it. So you've got to put it in that format. Cool. So that's all we got to do today. Fantastic work, Super 7s. And I shall see you for the next lesson, buddies. Bye, lovelies.